Imagine a place where thousands gather to pray, where the silence of souls in supplication is louder than any scream in the world. Now imagine this peaceful environment being suddenly and strangely broken by something that no one expected to see. Least of all in Medjugorje, one of the holiest places on earth. It was an ordinary afternoon of pilgrimage, with the faithful slowly climbing the mountain, praying the rosary and singing Marian hymns. But all it took was one man, isolated and visibly out of place in the environment, to transform that afternoon into something unforgettable, for better or for worse. He wasn't carrying a rosary, he didn't take off his shoes when he stepped onto the hill, and he didn't even look at the image of the Virgin. But what he did minutes later left everyone astonished. If you've ever felt the power of a malicious presence in a sacred place, you'll understand the impact of what happened. Write in the comments right now the names of people and relatives who need prayer. We'll include them in our main prayer with the rosary. It all started subtly. The man walked among the pilgrims as if he were searching for something, or someone. His eyes wandered restlessly, but without faith, and his posture was that of someone who did not respect the place. Some of the faithful noticed, but thought that perhaps he was just curious. After all, Medjugorje receives visitors from all over the world, many of them non-Catholics, but in search of spiritual answers. However, as the prayer of the rosary intensified, something in him began to change, or reveal itself. He began to speak loudly, interrupting the prayers. He said incoherent things, denied the faith, accused the faithful of being blinded by an illusion. Many tried to calm him with words of peace, but he was overcome by a restlessness that seemed not only human. It was as if a force was pushing him to confront that praying crowd. The tension increased when he climbed one of the stone steps, close to the image of the Virgin. There, where so many healings and miracles had been witnessed, he began to shout harsh words, questioning the faith of the people, mocking the presence of God, pointing to the statue as if challenging something invisible. The silence of the crowd turned to murmuring, and then to collective prayer. It was at that moment that something completely unexpected happened. The man, who had previously seemed inflamed with rage, fell to his knees. But not by choice. His knees buckled as if something was pressing him to the ground. He tried to get up, but could not. The wind blew hard and inexplicably, an intense scent of roses filled the air, although there were no flowers nearby. The mood changed. Many began to cry. Witnesses swear that, for a few seconds, they saw a light slowly descending over the hill, right above the statue of Our Lady. A gray-haired woman burst into tears saying, "She is here." The man, still kneeling, began to mumble confused phrases. He said he felt something burning inside his chest, as if his anger was turning into something else. A woman approached him with a rosary in her hands, placed it on his shoulders and whispered, "You are not alone. She loves you too." And at that moment, what had been anger turned into silence. A heavy silence, full of regret. He then broke down, crying like a child, repeating, "I didn't know. I didn't know." This scene was recorded by many cell phones, but very few wanted to publicize it. Not because they doubted the experience, but because the moment was too sacred to become a spectacle. There, what many believers call a hidden miracle was revealed. Not the miracle visible to everyone, but the one that happens inside the heart, in a radical and transformative way. The crowd, previously apprehensive, began to pray in unison again, as if protecting that man with their words. It was as if he had been knocked down, in order to be saved. A sign that not even the most rebellious of hearts is too far from divine mercy. This type of situation reveals something that many do not understand. Medjugorje is not only for the saints, but also for those who doubt, those who have turned away, those who mock. It is a place where heaven insists on touching the earth even when the earth resists. How many times have we not acted like this too? We close our ears, harden our hearts, and run away from the light because it confronts us. But the truth is that where there is sincere prayer, evil does not prevail. And that day, the prayer of the faithful was more powerful than any shout of anger. After the incident, the man was helped by some volunteers. They sat with him, talked, and prayed together. He said that he had come there out of curiosity, with hurt in his heart, with contempt for the faith that he thought was naive. But when he heard the rosary being prayed in several languages, something touched him. His anger was the result of old wounds, of unfulfilled promises, of a lifetime of trying to prove himself alone. I just wanted to be heard, and I ended up hearing her voice, he said before leaving. There are no public records of what happened to him afterwards. But everyone who was there that day says the same thing. It wasn't a scandal. It was a calling. Now think about your own life. How many times have you walked away because of pride, because of disappointment, because of wounds that seem to have no healing? How many times have you looked up to the heavens and thought there was no one listening to you? This story is a powerful, real, and recent reminder that God does listen, and that Our Lady intercedes, even for those who cry out against her. That's why we need to pray every day. Not only for ourselves, but for all those who are still lost. Pray with our hearts, ask for peace, for forgiveness, for healing of invisible wounds. Write in the comments the names of the people you want to include in our main prayer with the rosary. Now think about the people around you who need peace the most. Maybe they don't know how to pray. Maybe they mock faith. Maybe they have been hurt by their own religion. But you can be a bridge. You can be the one who prays for them every day, who forgives in silence, who plants faith even in arid soils. It is no wonder that many miracles begin with a simple prayer. Make it a habit. Pray for conversion, for faith, for peace in hardened hearts. Make your home a little Medjugorje, where heaven finds space to touch the earth. And now I ask, what would you do if you witnessed something like this? Would you have the courage to welcome, or would you judge? Would you pray, or would you walk away? Leave in the comments what you thought of this story. Have you ever experienced something similar? Have you ever witnessed a transformation like this? Your experience can also touch hearts. And don't forget, like this video, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. We need to spread these stories of faith, because the world is thirsty for miracles, and they are happening all the time, even when no one is filming.